Welcome back to the best division in football with your boys Awthentik and The Beard, man. Good to be back on air. We got a whole week drought there from Awthentik and The Beard. A couple of people was hitting me up talking about when we coming back, thought we was done for the season. But we had to give y'all 2 more episodes before we go into the off season, man. Y'all know what it is, man. The best television show not on TV. Congrats to everybody in Giants Nation, man. Looks like we got our coaching staff pretty much ironed out, man. I'm pretty excited, man. We got Wink in as the defensive coordinator. And, best wishes to Patrick Graham moving forward with the Raiders. I definitely wanted to clean house, and I think this was the proper decision for the New York Giants. But we got a big game coming up this Sunday, man. Super Bowl Sunday. We are finally here, y'all. Seems like this season just completely flew by, except one point. Somebody brought this up to me on Twitter, actually, just a couple hours ago. The last, 5 to 6 weeks for the New York Giants before we fired Joe Judge, my God, that felt like an eternity. So definitely glad to be looking forward to the draft and moving forward into the 2022 season, man. I know Giants fans want to put that one behind us in the past. But without further ado, man, let me bring in the best co-host in the country, the strong side. To my left side, I see him doing the biceps before he even popped on. What's popping, The Beard? How you living, dog?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I enjoyed a couple of days off from everything. Celebrated my fiance's birthday and my birthday, which are back-to-back days.
I know that's a fun time. Josie hit me up with a text, actually. She was like, I get to celebrate my birthday for a whole 24 hours before we got to move on to the Beard celebration show. I hope she got her just due,
Yeah, we definitely threw down for Josie's birthday. Josie's mom cooked a crazy brunch, and it was a whole day affair, so it was definitely a lot of fun. And then on my birthday, Josie's mom, shout out to Josie's mom, Maria's Kitchen, threw down some steak and some creamy shrimp. So Josie, myself, her brother, his girlfriend, and Josie's dad, we all sat down and had a good dinner. So definitely just been grinding, getting ready for this wedding, man. Trying to carry my own weight. My fiance has been doing so much with this wedding, so just trying to,
you've been loafing, you've been
yeah, just trying to do a little bit extra. You know what I'm saying? So I've been doing massive amounts of card sales on Whatnot, and I did 7 days straight, so it was kind of crazy. And then obviously the Washington football team has a new name.
Yep.
That happens in between the last time we were live, so we are the Commanders, which I don't know,
the name's going to take a little bit to get used to, for sure. The uniforms are going to help, I think.
Yeah, I think I'm still right now in that phase of just calling it Washington, just referring to it as Washington.
That'll be a really good transition for we've been calling them the Washington football team for so long that I think that's important to kind of smoothly transition. We already got rid of saying the former name. We haven't said that much this season. I think at the beginning of the year it's kind of giving us a little bit of trouble, but I think we've moved past that. And now it's going to be just smooth transition going from Washington into calling them the actual Commanders. And it's a little weird for me, too. It feels a little generic. It's like I'm used to my Pops, my cornflakes, my Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and here you go just throwing in some fruit rings. I'm like, I don't know, man. This feels a little bit generic here, but I think I could get used to it.
Yeah, it'll take some time, obviously. And like you said, the uniforms are pretty interesting. The black ones, obviously, I don't know. Maybe we come from a different era where it's black uniforms always pop a little bit more than anything else to us. You know what I'm saying? It definitely gives me that Any Given Sunday sort of vibe. You know what I'm saying? But it's gonna be interesting moving forward. Obviously, now it's just what are we gonna do about football? And obviously the Congress investigation, and now the league's investigating Daniel Snyder.
Yep.
There's a good chance that this might finally be the straw that breaks the camel's back, and Snyder's forced to sell the team. We'll see. It's just gonna be an interesting offseason for us here in Washington. You guys seem to have gotten the upper hand so far since the season has ended.
We'll see.
I love the hiring of Wink, man.
I love the hiring too.
Of Wink.
I think that's an amazing hiring. I'm glad we got our offensive coordinator in there, man, and I think Dable's ready to get to work, man. I know Giants fans are looking forward to it, man. We've spent 5 years in the gutter, man, so it's definitely time to get about the gutter, man. Start winning some games. I think the most interesting thing that's going to be, what's going to happen when we move forward here with the Giants is what they're going to do with some of these players that we have on this roster that have contributed to the losing culture that the New York Giants have had over the past couple of years. I think quarterback being one of the number ones. Are they going to move forward with Daniel Jones? I know they talking like they're going to move forward with him, but we've seen this with different regimes across the NFL, man. I always like to use Josh Rosen as a good example. I swear it was like 2 weeks as he was entering the draft, or as the Cardinals were entering the draft. They were all like, yeah, man, Josh Rosen's our guy. We're committed. Then draft comes, first pick, you get Kyler Murray picked, and I know he's sitting there like, wait a minute here. What's going on? So, I'm like, they just got in the building. So for me, it's like, I know they got to keep it a bit PC, and I'm not saying that that's what they're necessarily doing when they're talking about Daniel Jones, but I am not ruling out the possibility that they have some other plans in their bag. We'll see come draft time, man. I'm looking forward to covering it, too.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, there's the quarterback carousel is about ready to take off here very soon. Obviously, the Russell Wilson talk is really hot right now in D.C. And then, we just had the Senior Bowl, and everybody wanted to jump to conclusions about, performances in the Senior Bowl. And then, Aaron Rodgers, who knows what's going to happen there. The talks to Denver are starting to heat up again. And then the whole Kyler Murray thing came out of left field. I'm not even sure I quite understand what's happened there.
I don't understand what's going on there, too. It kind of seems like, Kyler Murray's just bitter or something. He's just mad about something. I don't think that he's like not in the future plans for the Cardinals. That would be kind of crazy. Even though he fell apart in the playoffs, I mean, that's expected to happen from a young quarterback.
Yeah. So, and I mean, now we're here. It's crazy to think that we're at the Super Bowl, because a while back it was like you said. I mean, there's points where the season was just going on, and you're just like, and then it goes by fast, and then it kind of hits that little slow mark, and then the playoffs, and then the 1 week in between the last playoff game and the Super Bowl always feels like 3 weeks to me. Like, it just feels like I haven't watched football.
I think it's a bit strange too. They I think that's going to benefit the Bengals in this game, in this matchup. But before we get off into this Super Bowl matchup, definitely want to say some shout-outs to the folks in the chat. But real quick, I know this is not a basketball podcast, right? But the Wizards did scoop up Porzingis today. I thought that was a pretty decent pickup. James Harden went to the 76ers in a trade for Ben Simmons, which was totally out of left field for me. I don't watch a lot of basketball, but I saw this stat going around that I had to bring up on the show and just see your thoughts on this, because we haven't talked about this. But in the end, Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Kyrie Irving played a total of just 16 games. I thought that was just like ridiculous. You're building a super team, and it kind of reminds you of the statistics that was going on about Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, and all the weapons with the New York Giants this past season. But 16 games in a basketball organization for, a so-called super team, I think that's really unfortunate. We'll see what the future holds for a guy like James Harden. I know he gets a lot of flack from, the fans across Twitter, especially people giving him a lot of flack, but wish him the best, man. I think the 76ers could be a good fit, man. I think it could be a good fit with him. They were lacking, another scorer over there, and Ben Simmons, hopefully he can get that jumper together, man. Maybe something will happen for him.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I mean, the trade deadline was crazy. The Wizards initially, like, the big fish that we were after was Sabonis from the Pacers, which was one of the most puzzling trades of the entire trade deadline, was the Sacramento Kings sending Tyrese Halliburton, who, in my opinion, is one of the best players from that draft of Anthony Edwards and LaMelo Ball. I mean, obviously Edwards, LaMelo Ball are just studs. And James Wiseman's been hurt, so we'll see how that pans out in Golden State. But Tyrese Halliburton has been an absolute stud, and I don't understand why Sacramento decided to get rid of him. I mean, they're getting another stud in return. Obviously, Sabonis is somebody who everybody kind of wanted a piece of. And then the Wizards, it just kind of just crashed. Like, we've been really bad the last like month and a half, 2 months, after that amazing start. But Bradley Beal being done for the year, obviously, there's talks of what's going to happen with Beal. Hopefully, these moves will kind of intrigue him to sign the deal. They're probably going to offer him the biggest contract in NBA history this offseason.
Yeah, Bradley Beal's been balling out, though, man. So I do think he deserves it, especially with no real supporting cast around him in Washington. It's been real tough for him, man.
Yeah, but Porzingis, man, it's going to be interesting. Like, we haven't had a player like that. in Washington ever.
Yeah,
like
and
that.
he's kind of
like
he's
in
on the
recent
down of his
years.
career a little bit, but I think he could add to the firepower that we got going on there. I mean, we'll see how it goes, man. I need to get a little bit more invested in basketball, and usually when football season's over, I can participate a little bit more because I'm 100% invested in the football season. But now we kind of wind it down. Especially for me and you, man, we getting ready for the draft here, getting ready for some off-season content.
Yeah.
And trying to bring a bit of an original twist to it. I think it's going to be a little bit difficult with how many content creators are out there doing a bunch of different things. But we definitely got to powwow, have a meeting of the minds, and see the direction we're going to be going forward. But we're definitely going to be giving y'all off-season content this year. How frequent? Still the verdict has to come out on that. We'll see how that goes. But let's get into these shout-outs, man, and let's get into this show, man. I know you said you was excited. I'm super excited to talk about this game, man. This should be a really good one. I got about a good. I said I was gonna come with a 4-piece nugget. I got about a good 10-piece nugget today, man. But we'll see how things go. We'll see how things. You get to write, man. I'm a writer, bro. I just
I'm
more
glad,
bars, more
I'm glad I
bars.
brought some extra sweet and sour sauce for the party, my man. So big shout out to Coach Taylor. First person in the building. Good to see you again, Jameson.
Shout out
Thanks for
Jameson,
stopping by.
man. He sent a comment on a couple of our videos saying that he missed us, man. So we missed you too, Jameson. It's good to be back chopping it up with
Definitely.
y'all after a week off.
Great to be back. Saint Zappa is
My
in
guy.
the building. Appreciate you stopping by. And it is always a pleasure to see Mr. Max Webster in
Big
the
salute.
building. Good to see you, Max.
What
Hope
up,
you're
Max?
doing well, buddy. And Kai001 says, what's
Yes,
going
sir.
on? He also told me to make sure I rub my fiance's feet. That always helps. I get a good, couple of those in when she passes out on the couch. It definitely helps. So I take the advice, Kai. My man Stan says the OGs are back.
Yes, sir. What up,
Appreciate you,
Stan?
My man, no Mets, no Nets, no Jets is in the building as well. Hey,
Salute.
Glock.
What up, fam? It's been a
There
week,
it
bro.
is.
It's been a week.
Awesomeness Sports is in the building.
Hey,
Says
what's up, fam?
hashtag take command. I'm not even going to go into that, how apparently we have stolen that hashtag from the San Antonio Commanders of the AFL, but we'll let that go by for another day.
I like it.
Big shout out to Jordan M in the building. What's going on, Jordan? Thanks
Shout
for
out
stopping by.
Jordan
We
one time.
appreciate it. James Williams is in the building. Salute to the best beard in the game. Authentic, you already know. Appreciate you stopping by.
That's the fam right
as
there. What's
always.
up, James?
Cookie Monster says,
Yes,
I like the
sir.
sweater, Authentic.
Hey,
And
appreciate it,
what's
man.
up,
OG
Beard?
Stussy vibes. I think it's like 10 years old, man. I be trying not to watch this thing too crazy and not
Hey,
wear it too
got-
much.
Gotta love the old stuff, man.
Everything I wear is old stuff, bro. I haven't been
That's-
shopping in
hey.
like 6 years, man.
Me too, man.
I feel you. I feel you.
Heavyweight champion of the world. Greg, what's going on? Good
What
to
up,
see you.
fam? What up?
Appreciate you. Kai says Kyler is super pouty. His body language in games has always been bad.
That's a good way to describe it, too. He's super pouty.
It is. My man Nick DeWick, appreciate you. The $4.99 super chat says hedged a Super Bowl bet. Either team wins, I get at least $350, but with free credits too. But Joe Burr can get me $600. Hashtag Hooday.
Hey, I
And,
like that. Shout out.
Yeah,
NCW.
listen, I haven't made any bets yet. I am going to, slowly take a few when we get into this weekend, trying to be very, studious before I make any bets. But I will place, one crazy 10-leg parlay bet. Just, see what happens, Captain. You know what I'm saying?
Best of luck, man. Best of
We're
luck.
going to see. Big shout out to Zach. Also, we appreciate it. I'm going to delete this insane Facebook comments. And then Jordan M says, bit hyped on the recent football Giants overhaul, hoping this new staff can bring us success. I feel
Damn,
you, Jordan.
I wish I would have seen the Facebook comment before you deleted it.
It was a spam of how he got cured from herpes. So
Oh, my God.
I had to let that one
Terrible.
go, but
Yep.
thanks for the information on Facebook.
Shout out
Appreciate
Jordan
you,
one
brother.
time in the building, though.
All right. Appreciate everybody being
you,
here.
man.
Shout
Right
out
on
to
that
everybody
little
who's
fade out.
watching on Facebook, on Twitch, on Twitter, and of course, here on the YouTubes. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up while you guys are here. beat drop.
Solid. Look at you, right on the outro, fade out. I don't even got to do nothing but hit stop. Shout out to the Beard one time. All right, man, let's get into this Super Bowl matchup one time, man. Shout out to the graphics department. They told me they keeping the old Rams logo for good luck. They've had the old Rams logo throughout the playoffs. It's worked out. We're going to keep things the way it's been. I'm a Rams fan now. I don't know if y'all know, but I'm a Rams fan now, okay?
And I think I've adopted the Bengals, so this is an interesting show now.
Yo, that was solid because you probably more of a Bengals fan than I am a Rams fan, but let's keep it focused here one time. All right, y'all. The stage is set on Sunday. We will have a new Super Bowl champion. Cincinnati Bengals will take on the Los Angeles Rams, who are favored by 4 points and will also have a bit of an extra advantage playing in their own stadium, only the second team to do so. The Rams got here largely on the shoulders of newly acquired quarterback Matthew Stafford and a standout performance from 28-year-old wide receiver Cooper Kupp, who led the league in receptions, receiving yards, and receiving touchdowns. The Bengals are representing the true underdog story, with Joe Burrow being the first quarterback selected #1 overall to reach the Super Bowl within his first 2 seasons. The Bengals represent youth, while the Rams represent experience and somewhat of a super team, some might say. Can the Bengals' miracle season extend just one more game and bring home a Super Bowl trophy back to Cincinnati? Or will the Rams play spoiler to the underdog Bengals? Kickoff is set for Sunday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, with the Rams favored by 4 points and the over-under set at 48.5. Now, this is Matthew Stafford versus Joe Burrow, both #1 picks overall. Joe Burrow was the #1 pick in the 2020 draft. Matthew Stafford was the #1 pick in the 2009 draft. Wow, that just seems like way back. That was like when A$AP Rocky was first hitting a rap scene. So this is #1 versus #1. This is kind of like some Nelly meets Justin Bieber. Yeah, maybe a little bit. All right, so let's talk about the quarterbacks one time here, man. For me, we're going to need more clean play from Matthew Stafford in this game. Matthew Stafford, he ended the season, had a little bit of a interception bug going on those last couple of games. Throughout the playoffs, though, he's only thrown just 1 interception. His 72% completion rate is the highest by a Rams quarterback in a single postseason, and he has registered the second most completions, second most passing yards, and the second most passing touchdowns by a Rams quarterback in a single postseason. Behind, we already know, the OG GOAT, Kurt Warner, okay? Oh, and by the way, that Underdog, the American Underdog film, solid. Watched it the other day, tearjerker. Super grinded out movie, definitely was a big fan of it. Could have used a little bit more football, but I definitely was digging the vibes on it. Kind of told you a lot about the relationship between Kurt Warner and his wife. I thought it was really good. But Stafford is the first quarterback in Rams franchise history to throw 2 or more touchdown passes in 3 games in a single postseason. That kind of surprised me. I thought Kurt Warner was out here lighting it up.
Yeah.
Greatest show on turf. Also, Stafford is the 7th starting quarterback in NFL history to reach the Super Bowl in his first season with a new team. Can you name the other 3, the Beard, possibly?
Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, and Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, and
started them off early with some trivia.
Drew Brees?
No Drew Brees, no Peyton Manning. We had Jake Delhomme in 2003 with the Panthers, and we had Trent Dilfer in 2000 with the Ravens. Yeah,
dang,
pretty surprising.
So Peyton Manning took a year with the Broncos before he made it to the Super Bowl, huh? I'm tripping.
Unless the stat is off, it says that Matthew Stafford, 7th starting quarterback in NFL history, the 4th, since 2000.
Okay.
To reach the Super Bowl. So for me, man, Matthew Stafford's going to have to definitely ball out in this game. Joe Burrow, I think, has got a little bit more pressure on his shoulders here. Joe Burrow, I was chopping it up with the homie Mason on Twitter, actually, about this. And we were both agreeing about the offensive line being completely horrible from the Cincinnati Bengals. Some people chimed in. Some people actually disagreed and said, one of them told me this that I thought was very surprising. An offensive line in the Super Bowl can't be a bad one. I thought that was kind of hilarious because we all know Joe Burrow got sacked 9 times in that game against the Tennessee Titans, still ended up coming out with the victory. And in response to that, the homie Mason asked me, does this mean that Joe Burrow has to play perfect for the Bengals to win, and how sustainable that is moving forward? And my reaction was exactly the same, because, one, the Bengals have ton of weapons over there, okay? They have players that can step up. Kind of reminds me of the Rams, okay? Like if Odell Beckham's not doing good, and previous to Odell Beckham not being over there with the Rams, you had Woods over there. If he wasn't doing good, you got Van Jefferson who could step up. You got guys like Higbee that can step up. I feel the exact same way about the Cincinnati Bengals, and they can rely on that running game with Joe Mixon as well. But Burrow definitely hasn't been perfect in the playoffs. I think he's squeaked through pretty much every one of these games just a bit here. Relied on a little bit of luck to get out of some jams, I'll say. Versus the Chiefs, he was 23 of 38 for 250 yards, 2 touchdowns, had an interception to go along with that. Against the Titans, we talked about the 9 sacks. He was 28, had to throw the ball 37 times. Both of those numbers, to me, for the attempts are a little bit too high for me. I'd like to see Joe Burrow in that 30 category as far as attempts go. He had no touchdowns and 1 interception against the Titans. And against the Raiders, he played probably his cleanest game of the playoffs, 24 of 34 for 244 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. That's kind of more like the game that I feel like Joe Burrow's going to have to play against the Los Angeles Rams if the Bengals are going to want to try to get a victory here. Now, Entertainer chimed in on this conversation and brought up a really good point that you've been talking about, I feel like, this whole playoffs when it comes to the Bengals. And he said the Bengals defense, you cannot forget about that Bengals defense. They're one of the more slept-on units in the NFL right now. Shout out to Nate Talk Sports, too. He was involved in that conversation as well and brought up some great points as well. The Bengals defense has recorded 6 interceptions in the playoffs so far. That's the most by any team. Now, talked about the Bengals' weapons. I think all of them are going to need to step up big in this game. Now, to me, not only for the Bengals, but in this game, the biggest X factor in this game is T. Higgins. We talked about this a little bit throughout the week. People not talking about T. Higgins enough, I feel like. T. Higgins had 7 games over 90-plus yards in the regular season. 12 receptions for 194 yards and 2 touchdowns in Week 13 against the Ravens. He only had 4 targets in the Raiders wildcard matchup, and since then, he's had 7 receptions on 9 targets for 96 yards versus the Titans, 6 receptions on 10 targets for 103 yards versus the Chiefs. I get the hype around that's surrounding Jamar Chase, but people should be talking about T. Higgins kind of like a 1B more. I feel like he deserves the kind of attention that guys like CeeDee Lamb have gotten in Dallas. You know, people talk about Amari Cooper, but CeeDee Lamb is talked about just like a 1A, 1B type of wide receiver situation. And you've seen it with Higgins. Not a lot of people talking about him. For me, he's kind of what Deebo Samuel was in the game with the 49ers. I think that Higgins is going to have to show up in this matchup, and it's going to be pivotal, especially if Joe Mixon is not getting it completely churning on the ground.
And I loved your Twitter comparison of T. Higgins to Art Monk. I thought that was a perfect, like, it's kind of crazy because you're talking about 2 completely different generations.
Facts.
But I never thought about it, obviously, because, like, it's difficult to think about 2 different generational players in comparison, really, especially in the drastic difference of the way that the game is now and what it used to be. But, like, when I look at them, they look similar. Obviously, the shoulder pads are a little bit bigger on Art Monk, but you know what I'm saying. But just the way that they run, like the size and the speed and what they're good at doing, I thought it was an amazing comparison. And I mean, T. Higgins, excuse me, people forget Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. Yes, they have that connection from college and obviously working in the offseason into right now, but people forget that T. Higgins and Burrow came in at the same time. You know, like they were the same rookie class. And T. Higgins over 1,000 yards receiving this year. You know, and you mentioned some of the games that he's had, and to have that as a number 2 is just it's standout. And I mean, Tyler Boyd hasn't been crazy, but to have Tyler Boyd as your 3rd option, I mean, there's a lot of teams where he would easily be the number 2 guy. You know what
Facts.
I'm saying?
Big facts. And shout out to NY Jeff, who's always in our chats and always chopping it up with us on Twitter. He brought up that matchup as one of the key matchups in this game. Boyd versus Dante Dion, the ex-New York Giants slot corner. And he thinks that Boyd has an advantage there, and he thinks that this might be the game where you see Boyd get more targets because Boyd, I looked it up before we went on air. Boyd has 9 less targets than T. Higgins does in the playoffs. T. Higgins has 23 targets total in the playoffs. Boyd is only getting about 4 or 5 targets a game. So, that this could be one of those times where, just like I was saying when I was setting this up a little bit, like where when one guy can't step up, does the other guy step up, right? The guy who's behind him, next man up kind of vibe. In this case, in the wide receiver room, you're talking about, a rotation. And I think Boyd it's going to be important that if Higgins is not showing up, especially with C.J. Uzomah, who's playing banged up right now with that MCL injury. He was full participant in practice this week, or I actually think that was on Wednesday. He's a full participant.
He's been tracking to play. He's had a couple of full participants, a couple of limiteds, and obviously that's going to happen when you don't want to do too much on that leg.
I'd look for him to not be a factor in this game, though. I saw the injury live during the game. He was in a boot kind of cast, not a boot, but more of a cast wrapped around or a brace wrapped around his knee. It didn't look that great. And I think to try to rush back for the Super Bowl, I think the Bengals are going to try to play that safe. So it's going to be important that, the backup tight end for the Cincinnati Bengals is Drew Sample, who hasn't had a great sample size, pun intended, on the year. He's only had a couple of receptions here and there in a couple of games. Is going to have to step up if Uzomah can't indeed play in this game. I think the MCL injury is something to keep an eye on. You got to cut. It's important for you going to be taking big hits at the tight end position, so their core is going to have to step up. I mean, we talked about T. Higgins, we talked about Boyd, we talked about Uzomah. We can't go this segment without talking about Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase right now is definitely balling out. He's got the most receiving yards by a rookie in NFL history, and also the most receiving yards in a single postseason by a Bengals player. That says a whole lot. I know the Bengals weren't winning a lot of playoff games during that Marvin Lewis era and whatnot, but they did see their way into the playoffs a few times. Ocho Cinco over there, TJ Huzmanzada, a few other greats were over there. But the Rams weapons, man, let's talk about the Rams weapons just a little bit here too. And let's start with an old weapon, like an old 6-shooter revolver kind of a weapon. Andrew Whitworth, man. He could become the first 40-year-old offensive lineman to play in a Super Bowl and the 8th player 40 years old or older to play in a Super Bowl at any position. He's coming into this game a little bit banged up. He does seem like he's trending towards playing in this game. So I'm looking for that for an OG like that to be able to, solidify his place here as an older lineman that's going to get the first start here in the Super Bowl.
Before you move on from him, it's so funny that you mentioned him first, because I literally just read an article that Joe Burrow, when he injured his leg last season, he was in L.A. doing the rehab, and he didn't really know anybody out there, and Whitworth reached out to him, and they worked out together, watched games together, and Joe Burrow actually spent his birthday at Whitworth's house. So it was kind of interesting how now they're playing each other in the Super Bowl. So, yeah, I literally just read this whole article about the two of them and their relationship maybe 10 minutes before we went on air. So it's kind of crazy that you mentioned that. Yeah, I mean.
Did you get a chance to see Pat McAfee's show today?
No, I didn't, but I saw and you know what killed me too is because every time I watch and I ask you if you saw something you didn't see that time, and every time you see, I saw your tweet when you said you were that they had you die, and the Al Michaels.
Oh yeah, they had me laughing so hard today, and what's his name came on, Jay Glazer came on today and talked about how he knew about some of the stuff that was happening with Matthew Stafford leaving Detroit to go to the Rams, and he talked about this specific pool party that they were at where Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford really built this relationship that just like sparked right from day one. And they talked about how, like, out of left field, somebody just jumped into the pool and did a cannonball, and it was Drew Brees. Jay Glazer looked over and said it was Drew Brees and whatnot. But he knew that this was going to be a relationship moving forward. And McVay, as soon as they started building this relationship, Jay Glazer talked about how McVay really started pressing the issue, like, we're going to make this work as fast as we can possibly make this work. So I'd look for Stafford maybe to end his career with the Rams. Me and Tanner was talking about this earlier today on Twitter too, about Odell Beckham and how the Rams are going to try to keep some of these players, going into the next season, because the salary cap issues obviously is going to be very tough.
I just read this too about the chili bath. So I actually went to Cincinnati this summer. We drove from DC to Cincinnati for the reseller rally. And so Skyline Chili is like it's like mambo sauce and wings here in DC, or crabs in Maryland. So it's like their thing, but it's a really interesting chili with like spaghetti.
With
It's very
spaghetti. Okay.
yeah, so yeah, Skyline chili is a big thing there. So if they
With
win the Super
spaghetti.
Bowl,
So is there beans in the chili?
I
Ooh,
listen.
I don't
I'm
know
a
about the beans with the spaghetti. That's kind of that's a crazy mix right there.
Yeah, and big shout out to my fiance. Everybody wish Josie a happy belated birthday. Her birthday was February 6th, so everybody wish my fiance a happy birthday.
Big
And
facts. Big facts.
yeah, but yeah, so that'll be interesting. Big bath of chili. I mean,
Yeah,
look,
that's
at
gonna be
that
wild.
point, you know what I'm saying? You win the Super Bowl, tell me the bath of chili.
Yeah. Now, so he says if the Bengals win, he's gonna do that.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it. Yeah, because you that's like you you probably don't remember these days too great, right? But like if you're winning, right? It's like if I'm at the bar and the New York Giants are winning, I don't mind getting completely hammered at the end of the game and waking up with a massive hangover because I know I'll wake up and it'll be Victory Monday. So for Uzoma, I definitely feel him on that. Going back to some of the weapons for the Los Angeles Rams here, got to talk about Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp's numbers are just ridiculous. And I'm gonna surprise you with some things later on in the over under section, but his numbers are just ridiculous. I mean, he now has 170 receptions, 2,333 receiving yards in the regular season and the playoff combined. This sounds like 5 players, man. This is like a whole team's worth of statistics. It's the largest combined total in NFL history. So when people talk about a regular season into a playoff run for a wide receiver, Cooper Kupp he's the Eli Manning of this. And thank God Patrick Mahomes isn't in the playoffs no more. So I got at least one more year to talk about the Eli Manning Super Bowl run, and that record still being held. But Cooper Kupp, he needs 7 receptions and 161 receiving yards in the Super Bowl to set new NFL records for receptions and receiving yards in a single postseason as well. In the Rams matchup against the Cincinnati Bengals in 2019, got to keep in mind Burrow wasn't there for this matchup. Granted, he doesn't play defense, but Cooper Kupp had a career high 220 receiving yards against the Cincinnati Bengals. So I'm looking for him to have a big game. I'm going to mention him in these over-unders when we get to that after this matchup and after this breakdown. There's going to be some really good ones in there, so make sure y'all stay tuned for that. And the last weapon, man, for me that I'm going to talk about, I talked about Van Jefferson and Higbee a little bit. I think that they'll be contributors to what happens offensively for the Rams. But we know, for me, it's Cooper Kupp and it's Odell Beckham. Beckham had the 9 receptions for 113 receiving yards in the championship game. That's his first 100-yard game since week 6 of 2019. So to me and Tainer was talking about this on Twitter too, about Odell Beckham maybe being towards the end of his prime. And I'm not too sure about that. I'm looking at Odell Beckham like this could maybe spark a new thing for him. A lot of people have gone as far as to say that Odell Beckham is the better wide receiver on the Rams as well. Even though Cooper Kupp has those incredible numbers, people like to say that talent-wise, Odell Beckham might be a more talented wide receiver than Cooper Kupp. But Cooper Kupp's just putting up amazing numbers, and I think that Odell Beckham is definitely a beneficiary of that. Having a number one like that on the side, it's like if Odell Beckham would have went to Green Bay, it'd kind of been the same thing. You got Devontae Adams over there, and Odell Beckham as a number 2 with a fantastic quarterback, a guy like Aaron Rodgers, and in this case with the Los Angeles Rams, you got Matthew Stafford over there doing damage. So I'm looking for Odell Beckham to really go off. He's got 19 receptions, 236 yards, and 1 touchdown in the playoffs. Those are numbers that people would have never thought Odell Beckham was going to put up, at least the haters for Odell Beckham, and it seems to be more haters than there are more supporters for Odell Beckham across the internet. And going back to Whitworth and talking about Whitworth being the first 40-year-old lineman in the Super Bowl, this is going to be the youngest matchup between head coaches in the Super Bowl as well. Combined age of 74 years old with Sean McVay and Zach Taylor. Sean McVay coming in at 36, Zach Taylor coming in at 38. It's also the first Super Bowl to feature 2 head coaches that are under 40 years old. So you got a player who's older than the coach.
Yeah, they're the 2 youngest coaches in the league, I think, actually. I don't think there's anybody younger than the 2 of them. I think they're the 2 youngest head coaches in the league.
Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate. I can't remember. Joe Judge was one of the younger coaches in the league too. I can't remember how old he was. He ain't a coach no more. I do wish him the best, man. He tried his best. Him and Dave Gettleman both definitely tried their best. last year featured the oldest matchup of coaches as well, too, with Bruce Arians and Andy Reid. Their combined age was 130 to the 74. Talk about like a
Cutting
complete
in half.
OG flip, yo. It's completely crazy. And McVay would become the youngest head coach in NFL history to win a Super Bowl at 36 and 20 days old. And Mike Tomlin is currently the youngest head coach to win a Super Bowl. He led the Steelers at age 36. Now, Zach Taylor would be the second youngest if he wins the Super Bowl. So you're looking at a bunch of youth here, man. I talked about the youth from the Bengals and a lot of experience from the Rams, but the Rams have done it with relatively a young team. Odell Beckham coming in at age 29. You got Jalen Ramsey at 27. Aaron Donald is 30, I believe. Cooper Kupp is 28, I believe. So you got a bunch of young guys over here with a quarterback who's definitely aging, but not showing many signs of it. Matthew Stafford looks like he's going to be able to play for at least another 3 to 4 seasons. I think the Rams have built their team, and they're proof that there's no right way to build your team. The Super Bowl showed you right here, man. Like, look, the Rams gave away every first-round pick possible, okay? And literally just went for proven talent. The Bengals were like, our quarterback just blew out his ACL. We're not drafting offensive line. Screw the trenches. We're going out here and getting Jamar Chase. We're going to build a connection. And the Miami Dolphins kind of did the same exact thing with Jalen Waddle and Tua, and that seemed to work out a little bit as well, too. So kind of shows you that there's not really a right way to build a team. I know in the Giants community, everybody's like, you got to go 9 picks on the offensive line. No, you don't. You can build a team in a multitude of fashions, and both these two teams in the Super Bowl. I know a lot of people look at the Bengals, and they might think a little bit of fluke vibes. They kind of think 2007 New York Giants a little bit, and that's why I say kind of. Like, it's not like they're a fluke like the Jets are in the Super Bowl.
I understand why people would say that, but
Yeah,
just
let's
for
keep
me,
it funky.
obviously,
The
riding
teams they
Bengals
lost to during the season, bro, Super Bowl teams don't lose to the teams that the Bengals lost to in the season. I'm going to get there when I get to my pick. But, the Jets, they lost to the Jets, bro.
But who else didn't the Jets? Aren't all of the Jets wins except for like one against playoff teams? There are 4 wins.
They
against
lost
all,
to the
like,
Bears,
teams?
bro. They lost to the Bears, bro. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. They lost
They were
to the
fighting
Bears.
their way. They were fighting their way.
That's a damn good point right there. They were finding their way, and hopefully they never have to look back to those kind of losses. One other thing I wanted to bring up real quick. Nick Wright today, okay?
Oh,
He
God.
said the Bengals just aren't that good. And he said it. He doubled down on it. He said, I don't mean like they're not that good to like not be in the Super Bowl. He was like, they're just not that good. I want to know your thoughts on that.
I think Nick Wright he's an how do I say this without sounding like somebody who I don't want to sound like? He is just not very he's clickbait. He is clickbait. Sometimes he just says things because I think he wants to get a reaction out of people. He also, remember what he said about Terry McLaurin?
He did say Terry McLaurin is not a number 1 wide receiver.
He said a whole slew of things. Listen,
in the same breath, he said that
Antonio
Gibson is not a number 1 running back either.
Yeah.
Now, look,
that was a whole thing.
I will say this. With what he said about Terry McLaurin, I take it with a grain of salt because, one, Terry McLaurin is not dealing with the greatest quarterback situation known to man, right? Okay, the quarterback is serviceable, let's call it, right? And he's getting him the ball, sort of, right? But Terry McLaurin's numbers, when I'll never forget a conversation I had with OGR on Twitter about Odell Beckham. And he responded talking about Odell Beckham is kind of washed and on his way. I'm paraphrasing on this part. He was kind of like on a downhill as far as the career goes, right? And he said this to me. He said, Odell Beckham will never be anything more than a 1,000 receiving yards wide receiver in a year and 4 or 5 touchdowns. And when I looked it up at the time, there wasn't many people that were in the double-digit touchdowns as far as wide receivers go. And CeeDee Lamb said something today that reminded me of this. He was on Speak for Yourself with Wiley and Acho, and he said, the crazy thing that happens in the NFL with fans is you come into the league and there's not that many expectations for you until you reach the expectation and set the bar for yourself, which is what Odell Beckham did. First 3 seasons, 35 touchdowns, 1,000 yards every year. And then people start to think, now they're not comparing you to the rest of the league. They're comparing you to you. Mm-hmm. And my response to OGR at the time was like, when you look at 1,000 yards and 4 or 5 touchdowns a year, that's Terry McLaurin. You're not taking Terry McLaurin right now as a 1A, 1B type of wide receiver. You'd be ludicrous to not think that. And then the conversation kind of fell off a cliff after that because I think people don't realize how dependable that is. A guy like T. Higgins, that's what he's doing right now. 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns on the year. I will take that all day for my number one if my running back's doing some good things, but I'm definitely taking that from the number 2. So with what Nick Wright said here, I think that he really believes this stuff. I don't think he's just doing it to get the reaction. I think he really believes this stuff, and I think he's not scared to have a bold take. He said after he said all that today that this game is going to be a bloodbath. There's a part of me that wants to agree. But the one part that makes me go to leave it a little bit open-ended has nothing to do with the Bengals. It's got more to do with the Rams. They scare me a little bit. The Rams are that kind of a team that, especially, man, after this week of no football, I'm more confident in the Bengals in this game than I am in the Rams as far as who would fall apart. The Bengals are going to show up and show you what they've done throughout the playoffs, I feel like, which has just been pretty average. The Los Angeles Rams showed you they could get out to a crazy lead. They almost blew that 28-point lead. They showed you that when they clicking on all cylinders, they can look like the Chiefs. They can look like the Bills. Whereas I feel like the Cincinnati Bengals have not quite shown us that they are a top-notch football team. Let's just say the Dallas Cowboys were in the Super Bowl here. People would be picking the Dallas Cowboys maybe to beat the Bengals. And I think that says more about the Bengals team that are they ready for this? And in the intro, I said it. Can they keep the momentum going on for one more game? Because at the end of the day, this is just one more game. All you got to do is win one more game. Everything that happened leading up to this game does not matter. It don't even matter. Matthew Stafford could go out here and throw 3 interceptions, look like complete garbage. And you know what people are going to say in the offseason? Hey, the Rams might have to, if they want to get over the hump, man, they might have to get a quarterback, blah, blah, blah. Are they drafting a quarterback and all this silly stuff, right? It's one game for all the marbles. Straight up and down. And I don't know if they're going to freeze, but there's a part of me that wants to agree with Nick right here that's like, when you looked at he compared it to Eli Manning, too, in the 2007 Super Bowl against the New England Patriots. He was like, this would surprise him that much, almost that much, if the Bengals can go out here and get a victory against the Rams. I think the Rams are a little bit, just a little sketchy, man. You saw some plays that kind of fell apart with them in clutch moments. One of them that comes to mind for me is Jalen Ramsey on that blown coverage late in that one game. It's like, bro, what's going on
Evans,
here?
Right?
Yeah, this is one of your best players. Kind of reminded me of Jack Rabbit in that game against the Bucs we had when Daniel Jones got his first victory. Those kind of things can't happen. But I do think the trenches could be the big difference in this game too, man. Like
100.
We saw Hendrickson with the Bengals give an all-out effort, right? So I do think that their defensive line is going to have to show up as well. But with Aaron Donald on this front, he's the kind of guy, big players make big plays. And I don't see him going quiet in this game. I definitely don't see him going quiet in this game. I won't go with my pick just yet. I kind of want to see where you stand a little bit on this a little bit more. But I am leaning towards the Rams. Simply off the straight-up fact, I could have deleted every one of these notes and just put the Bengals lost to the Jets and the Bears. And that's enough merit for me to pick the Rams, I think.
Shout out to Kai. I saw it in the chat. He said, I got to pull it up. Here we go. Kai 001. But they beat the Chiefs twice, so it balances out.
Hey, shout out Kai one time, man.
So I thought that was a good one. I got to give a big shout out to Tudo.
Oh, shout out Tudo.
Always good to see you, brother, for the $4.99 super chat. Says, salute, my Paisani duo. Drop by your office to pay our proper respects. And for all Giants fans around the world, slap all stinky buds losers.
I like that. I like how you spelled the Boyds. Kind of look like the
Boyds.
boys a little bit too, like Cowboys and
I thought at
mashup.
Yeah.
Shout out Tudo, man.
Yeah, we appreciate you, Tudo. It's good to see you, man. Hopefully you guys are still on a winning streak, by the way. I know you guys were on
I think they are. The Abs have been back. They're still here. Yeah. I hope they're still on a winning streak, but I think they are. Confidence.
I lost 10 pounds in January, guys. 10 pounds in January.
Salute to the beard.
I'm trying to get to this right here.
Trying to get to that. You could trick them, trim the beard down maybe a little bit.
The beard's definitely gonna get trimmed. the discussions, the negotiations are on the table right
length
now.
discussions.
Yeah.
Come on.
Big shout out to Jeremiah Butler for the 4999 cents super chat. Says Nick smoking that good dope. And I like Nick at times. He hurt because his team out by Burrow,
Facts.
less.
He's salty about them Kansas City Chiefs definitely being knocked out. He was like, Patrick Mahomes just decided to be a different person in the fourth quarter. I'm like, I feel you, bro. Like, you're a little salty. Now he said he's going to make some bets to try to make back the money that he lost in the Kansas City game. So I'm not going to say best of luck to Nick Wright, but I will say this, man. As far as Twitter and national media goes, they're too hard. Twitter's too hard on the national media guys. Like, I see people like Colin Cowherd getting stuff wrong. Louis Riddick, Nick Wright, and people are like, I don't like Louis Riddick because he said Dwayne Haskins was a better quarterback than Daniel Jones.
Like, they never gonna let that go.
They're never gonna let that go, dog.
Man.
And it's like, yo, these people get stuff wrong. Then people are like, oh, Colin Cowherd, he's always flip-flopping on Daniel Jones. And it's like, dog, they're at will to change their opinion, man. They're just trying to report on things and give you an opinion. Imagine if you had to wake up and give your opinion on that day, every day about a certain thing. I'm sure you'd be wrong, too. These dudes is doing it on national television in front of the bright lights. I like to give them a pass, man, because I get a lot of my information from these jokers, man. Look, I remember when Jordan Renan came out, right? And he said something about content creators, right? He said, yeah, you know, all y'all do is just steal the stuff that we work hard for during the week and use it on y'all podcast. You know, he's like, us, the beat writers, are really doing all the work. I kind of feel him on that a little bit because, look, when I go searching for some nuggets, bro, I'm not going and looking through each and every game, going through every play and going, oh, Joe Burrow, okay, incomplete, and making notes about it to come up with a big nugget. I'm searching the internet for my nuggets, bro. This is the information age, and salute to all them beat writers. Just try to give them a little bit of a pass if you've been being a little bit hard on them, okay?
Yeah, it's you know, it's not easy. It's really not. Not everybody can only lose one game in the playoffs like the Beard. You know
Facts.
what I'm saying? But,
I mean, facts. You know, everybody's not a genius when it comes to the sports stuff, okay?
But look, I think these teams are a lot more similar than people may think. I have a feeling like, you know, the running game, I think the Bengals have a slight edge. I think, you know, receiver-wise,
by the way,
you
Joe
have
Mixon
to give
has the most rushing yards in playoffs right now of any running back.
Yep.
So, yeah, I will give you that.
You have to give the receiving side to the Rams because they have the best receiver in Cooper Kupp. You know, but very similar structured wide receiving cores. You know,
I think they got a one-up on the depth a little bit, too, in the wide receiver core as far as the Rams go.
And then you look at the linebackers. I think the linebacking core is probably the weakest of the levels of the defensive side of the ball for the Rams.
Yeah.
I think the secondary, they have the one up on the Bengals, and even on the front, I think they also obviously have the one up. But that linebacking core,
both fronts too.
Yeah, but the Bengals linebacking core is definitely I think better than the Rams linebacking core, and I think that's where you're going to see who's going to win this game. You talked about the trenches. I totally agree with you with the trenches. You know, but like if you look back in the second half of the Bengals-Chiefs game, what the difference was the quick pass. Okay?
Yeah.
Joe Burrow's getting rid of the ball really quick to Joe Mixon, to the tight end, you know, and to some of these quick screens and stuff like that.
T. Higgins showing you can go across the middle, catch those big body catches, you know.
And so that's where you're going to have to attack this Rams front because obviously you can't go back there and drop back and you know throw these passes if you got Aaron Donald, Von Miller coming in your face. You really have to attack the middle of the field. I mean, the Rams have 1+ takeaway in 10 straight games. Okay, they've had at least one takeaway in 10 straight games. Also, you got Aaron Donald and Von Miller combined 14 sacks in the last 8 games. Okay, so you know this
Von
Rams
Miller was such a great pickup, man.
Oh man, fabulous! And so you know you got this defense that's definitely been performing. So it's going to be. That's why I think it's Soma. How effective he's going to be with that knee injury is going to be important. But I think Joe Mixon is the key to everything. I think both of these teams, no matter how good of a passing offense these teams have, I think both of these teams are going to look to establish the run early. I think, both of the quarterbacks, first time being in the Super Bowl. Let's be honest. Both of them are number one picks. They know about pressure. Joe Burrow's played in a national championship game. And you talked about, pressure on the Bengals and the pressure being on Joe Burrow. But I think the pressure, is going to be on both of these quarterbacks. Their first time playing in the big game. No matter how many games you play in, no matter what you've done previously, there's nothing that compares to playing in the Super Bowl. So, there's going to be a little bit of jitters, I think, in the beginning. And I think both of these coaches know that. And to avoid early game turnovers, and, you don't want to see something happen like what happened in the Broncos-Seahawks Super Bowl, where it just fell apart from the first beginning play.
Right.
Where the snap went over the head of Peyton Manning. It was a safety. So I think you're going to see both of these teams try to establish the run. So that's why I think it's going to be super important. Joe Mixon is my underdog sleeper pick for MVP in this Super Bowl. If you're looking for some good value, I want to say Joe Mixon is, I think, 40-1 odds to win MVP. So if you're looking for good,
wow,
yeah, if you're looking for good value, Joe Mixon might be a guy to keep your eye on. He has the potential to have a huge game for sure. But obviously, you look at Cooper Kupp. I mean, we talked about the stats. You gave those numbers. I mean, they're
crazy.
They don't even, they sound like Madden. The dude has had 140 plus receiving yards in the last 2 games.
Yeah,
and it's like, okay,
damage.
If you put all your focus on Cooper Kupp, Odell Beckham, despite what anybody wants to say about him, you and I have stood by it all year long that he is still a guy. And I think when you talked about the people think that, his prime, right? I don't think he has as much tread on his tires as people think. He's missed some time with some injuries. He hasn't played a lot of playoff games being in Cleveland and obviously the last few years he played in a couple, but I mean he was hurt, So I think he still has a lot of life and leg in him, and I think he's found a perfect place to be at where he has somebody like Cooper Kupp, like Van Jefferson, and a mind like McVay. So, and the Bengals defense is going to be one of the last things I'm going to talk about, because that's both of these quarterbacks under pressure. Joe Burrow in the regular season was fantastic against the blitz, fantastic against pressure. Not so much in the playoffs. Yeah. His numbers have dropped drastically against pressure. So that's something to keep your eye on. Matthew Stafford, we know what happens to him when he gets pressure, especially on those deep passes. He tends to underthrow them, and they tend to get intercepted when there's a lot of pressure in his face. And the Bengals have guys. We talked about Hendrickson and also Sam Hubbard. They combined for 3.5 sacks last week against Patrick Mahomes in that game. And, Cincinnati's defense, 2 takeaways at least in each one of their playoff wins this year. Big shout out to Zach for the $2 super chat. Says my MVP on the Super Bowl will be Sam Hubbard.
I brought it up because he agrees with you. He dropped that right before you said it. So I was like, let me bring this one up. And Tudo also dropped one for us too.
Appreciate you, Tudo, for the $9.99 super chat. Says, since I've been appointed as the captain, I'm the captain now.
I am the captain now.
RD 5 months ago, I've made it clear with owners that I have to pick, screen, interview, and sign every single defensive player. My team, my rules.
My rules.
Tudo, like you're a G, my man. Oh, and he got another one up here, too. He says, thanks to our American Navy trainers, we finished Hell Week training, and we're all sore and banged up, worse than the actual playoff games. But nobody's complaining because I am leading the way. Big shout out to Tudo. Appreciate
accountability,
you,
man. Big shout out to Tudo.
Always. But yeah, so I mean, it's weird to me. Like the more and more I look at this, I think these teams are very, very, very similar. And for that reason, I am excited about this game. And I've said this last week when we did the recaps and we knew that these two teams are playing the Super Bowl, that I didn't want it to be this way, even though I picked it to be this way.
What team would have been better for you to be in the Super Bowl against the Bengals where it would have been a no-brainer for you to just go,
The
I'm going Bengals.
49ers. I mean, that would have been, Bengals. And the same thing. Like,
Yeah.
if the Chiefs would have won, I think I would have been. I know that if the Chiefs would have won, it would have been difficult for you because I know you like the
Oh
Rams,
my
and I
God.
know you like
Yes,
the Chiefs.
it would have.
So
I'd have
would
went Rams. I think I'd have went Rams.
And so I would have went Rams too. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, for me, it's just I think I love the storylines across the board here. Like, we, Authentic and myself, have been, I feel like, one point or another to somebody along the way have had to defend Matthew Stafford against slander.
For sure.
Whether it be talking to the homies on the couch at Scotty Boom's house to, people on the internet. Like, we've had to defend Matthew Stafford at some point. And you see a guy who's played for Detroit his entire life, and they go out and they get him to go to the Super Bowl, and they actually go to the Super Bowl, right? Like, how many times do people say, oh, we're a quarterback away?
Yeah.
I mean, when they traded Matthew Stafford for Jared Goff, people were literally questioning, is Matthew Stafford really going to take him to the Super Bowl?
There? I remember people talking about the Vegas, the odds for the Rams to win the Super Bowl was exactly the same, and the odds for how many wins they were supposed to get in the regular season was still 11 wins, even though we had the one extra game this season. So people were looking at it like, does Stafford actually bring a lot of extra value? I will say this, though. Jared Goff really made a name for himself playing on that Detroit Lions team this season and showed people that he's not garbage. People think he's straight garbage.
Not at all.
He might be at a point where Matthew Stafford was a little bit earlier in his career, maybe a little bit down on the downside, but I think Jared Goff is a very capable quarterback. When people look around the league for a quarterback position, if that guy might be available, I don't know. He's a guy that I think can lead a team to some victories. Maybe not win a Super Bowl, but he can definitely lead a team to some victories.
Absolutely. And so this game has been super difficult for me to pick. But I think I'm ready to give you.
Yeah, we ready. We ready.
We ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's get that score. Let's get them Ys.
Okay. I am going to take the Cincinnati Bengals, okay? As much as difficult a decision as it is, I have been, on this Bengals team since about midway through this season, talking about the Bengals this, the Bengals that, and they haven't let me down yet. Sometimes, there's just a little bit of, and you called it luck, and, it might be some luck, but sometimes it's just a little bit of magic in the air.
Yeah.
And both of these teams have that magic right now, which is why I think that this Super Bowl is going to be magical. And we actually have a what appears to be a good halftime performance on our hands.
A little hypocritical considering the direction the NFL has been trying to go towards. You going to get my man Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre in the building talking about B's and the H's.
Let's get things a little gangster. You know what I'm saying?
Let's get it a little gangster.
Let's get it a little gangster, okay? So
Eminem and Kendrick too, right?
Eminem, Kendrick, Dr. Dre, Snoop, and Mary J. Blige.
They could have. Shout out to my homie Zach from Beyond Studios. They've been doing like pretty much the whole touring photography and videography for Mary J. Blige. She definitely still on her grind, but Super Bowl vibes for Mary J. I mean, maybe 15 years ago, maybe. I don't know about this year, but she's a good, clean act. I got to support it,
She's going to hit that joke.
I don't even know what joint.
She going to have them high-heel boots doing this joke. That's a very
what was her joint? What was the joint she had that I hated?
Let's get it crunk in here, right? That's how it.
No, that ain't it. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I ain't know what she was saying on none of that. She say jamboree. I don't know what she said at the end of that lyric. she had a couple records where I was like, you tripping now. Somebody need to get on the production for Mary J. Blige. I feel like kind of bring her back to her roots maybe.
For me, my Dukes was rocking to Mary J. Blige when it was Mary J. Blige and the
in the baseball jersey?
Yes.
Oh,
and
what's the 411?
In the alley with the rain and everything.
I was rocking Mary J. Blige back then. I think that's probably like 90, 91.
Yeah. So, but for me, obviously, I will always love the redo that of the Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell that Method Man and Mary J. Blige did.
Oh,
that
yeah,
song
won a Grammy.
To me
that was a good joint.
Always,
You're all that
always, a classic to me.
Yeah, big classic.
Yes. So
that's
all
the
of
Mary
that
J
being
we need. That hip hop. Give me the breaks and the hip hop drums with the melodies up front. Keep it a little gritty. I don't like that old holleration. Nah.
That's what it was. Holleration.
Yeah, we're not doing
That's
none of
that's
that.
he does that.
We're not doing that, cuz. Yeah, we're not doing that. But I'm
But
looking
look,
forward to it, man. I mean, after was it the Weekend in the Mirrors last year, or was that 2 years ago?
I mean, hey, shout out to The Weeknd though. He gave us a good meme for about a year. And I mean, that meme lasted. It lasted for a good year, man.
Definitely lasted. So yeah, they wilding with them wide angles, bro. They wilding. They do that. They did that for Big Sean for the I think it was the Thanksgiving game that they had with Detroit where he performed from the stands. And dog, it just that lens just does not look right. Don't put the wide angle lens on these performers, bro. They looking like clowns. Those aren't portrait lenses, man. So, but I see you going with the Bengals.
Yep.
Score wise, how you feeling about the score?
Okay, so this is where I am in a dilemma. I've been leaning more so towards the under in this game.
48.5, right?
Yeah. All right. I might change this before I make any official beard bets.
And
Make
chat,
sure you
let's
guys
get y'all scores too in the chat as well. Compare
Make sure you guys are following us on Twitter also at Awthentik and at Tim Walk on Water too, because I will be giving away some Super Bowl prop bets for all the Awthentik and the Beard fam-a-lam. I'm going to go 24-23 Bengals.
I like it because if the Bengals win, it should be a close competition like that. I think the Rams are going to put up some good points in this game. I'm going to go 29-19. Rams kneel the ball out at the end to win the game. 29-19. That sounds about right.
So that would be under as well. Just barely. Both of us are just barely getting
What am I,
under
at
the
48? I'm at 48,
48,
right?
Yeah.
29-19. I kind of want to go with Vegas. 29-19.
And listen, disclaimer, this game could be a 16-13 game or it could be a 47-42 game. So
I'm ruling out 47-42.
But it's a possibility.
No way these two defenses come out and play that bad. One might.
What if one of the defense starts to score?
My guy Tudo, 11-6 next season. All right. Lax says 35-28 Rams. I like it.
Lax 044 in the building. What's going on, brother?
Waterfly in the building says,
just put 100 on the under and tails on the coin toss.
It used to be in my day, tails never fails, but now they call heads all the time. They called heads in the one last week and lost though. Yeah. The Bengals and the Chiefs won. They ended up winning the game though.
Yep, they did.
All right, so 29-19, 24-23 for the Beard. I like it. I like it a lot, man. All right. See how this game pans out. All right, let's get into some of these. Guy said Awthentik has no faith in Joey B. Now, I do got faith in him, man. I just think he's a little bit too young right now to get this win. But like I said, man, the Rams present an opportunity, I feel like. I think they're that kind of team that, they could just come out and just be a little flat, Hopefully they're not relying on the running game there with Cam Akers. I didn't get to talk about Cam Akers all day. But, he hasn't had a good playoff. He's going to have to come out here and get at least a good 60 yards in this game. I don't want to see the Rams struggle, man. I'd like to see Matthew Stafford get this Super Bowl victory, man, and whatever happens next year, I don't care. I want to see Stafford get one. I want to see Beckham get one, man. I think that would be awesome for Odell Beckham to get one and just kind of
I don't think you can lose here. Either one of these teams win, it'll be a good story, man. So I think, listen, I will tell you, Benjamin says the media is picking the Bengals. The media picking the Bengals are straight up booger eaters. The betting public right now is 60% on Cincinnati.
Really?
So Vegas is.
Well, betting wise, I get it. Yeah, I do get it. I do get it.
Vegas is really hoping for a Rams victory because the Super Bowl is the biggest betting day of the year.
Yeah,
it's huge. So there's a lot of money right now is on the Bengals so far. So I think it was last time I heard it was 60% of the public money was on the Bengals.
I like it, man. I think the Rams are favored for a reason. Sticking with it. Super Bowl, big game. Who knows what could happen, though. We'll see what happens on Sunday. Let's get into a couple of these over-unders real quick, man, and then I got a couple little surprises for you at the end of the show one time. All right, let's start with Matthew Stafford. You got your pen and paper? My guy. Matthew Stafford over 290 passing yards versus the Bengals. Chat, how y'all feeling about this? Y'all taking the over? Let me see an O in the chat if you're taking the over. Let me see a U in the chat if you're taking the under. Let me see that hand emoji or the P if you are going to take a push on this one and think Matthew Stafford is going to have exactly 290 passing yards. We'll get a beard 15 seconds on each one of these and see how it goes. One time, my man Stan coming in hot first with the first. Oh, he's taking the over. 295, giving him 5 extra yards on it one time. Shout out to homie one time, brother BKL in the building, says, what up, Awthentik and The Beard? I know the bet goes for the Rams, but they don't know exactly what the Bengals always handle it. So I got the Bengals without the bet. That's what's up, man. Good to see you in the building one time. How you say that? Contreras. Sportertainment guy. That's what's up, man. Big salute to you. We appreciate you pulling up, fam. Kai's taking the under one time. Marjorie taking the over. Waterfly taking the under. Sank say taking the under, but he's not confident. Beard, how you feeling about this one right now? 200. I tried to make these as difficult as I possibly could make them. Matthew Stafford over 290 passing yards versus the Bengals. You taking that over? You taking that under? Or you taking that push?
I'm going to take the under. I think he goes for like 280, 285.
Woo-hoo, it's tough. I made it tough for me. I ain't even think about my answers. I'm going with the over. Let's give you a little head start here.
Yeah, big shout out to Tudo from 499 says Super Chat says Cincy will take it this time by being younger and hungrier by just looking at our own rugby team just to prove everyone and all doubters wrong.
Tuto going out on a limb one time, picking them Cincinnati Bengals one time. Lax says he thinks both quarterbacks are going over 290, which can take me to my next one. Joe Burrow, same thing. Joe Burrow over 290 passing yards versus the Rams. How y'all feeling about this one, chat? I already see that the homie Waterfly, or I'm sorry, the homie Lax thinks that both quarterbacks are going over 290. And let's see here what we got. Stan's taking the over Joe Burrow, 290 passing yards. I think he took the over for Matthew Stafford as well. That's interesting. Waterfly and Kai taking the unders on this one. Sank Zappa with the over. Marjorie with the over as well. Waterfly says over on Lax being cool. I definitely agree with you on that one time. And okay, so you know exactly what it is. Over. Okay. Brother BKL takes the over one time. Shout out Benjamin. I ain't seen Benjamin in a minute, man. Benjamin's taking the under one time. He says Joe Burrow will have more opportunities, but the Rams don't got many more chances. I got to take the Rams at home with McVay. That's a good point. That's kind of how I feel about this game too. Like they've had a bunch of things fall their way, and is it going to fall their way here in the Super Bowl? We shall see. So we got Joe Burrow over 290 passing yards versus the Rams. The Beard, how you feel about this one?
I'm going to take the under. I think both of these quarterbacks throw for around 280.
I'm taking the under on this one as well. I got the Rams, and I think they're going to win convincingly. So I got to take Joe Burrow under the 290 passing yards. Let me see what Stan said right here. He said, yeah, as much as Beard hates it, think the running games on both sides will be taken out the game. That's
Run the damn ball.
Run the damn ball. Okay, now let's take it to the wide receiver room here one time. Jamar Chase over 92 receiving yards versus the Rams. Chat, how y'all feeling about this? Are y'all taking the over or y'all taking the under on Jamar Chase going over 92 receiving yards versus the Rams? Waterfly said, Beard, keep track of the chat's choice. You be over here with a whole spiral notebook. Shout out Waterfly one time in the building, man. Giants Nation, y'all know what it is. All right, Marjorie's taking the over. Waterfly's taking the push, 92 exactly. I like that. I kind of like that. That's risky right there. Kai is taking the under. Sank Zappa taking that over one time along with Marjorie. 92 receiving yards. Jamar Chase, man, he's definitely been balling out in these playoffs. What you think about this one, The Beard?
I'm gonna take the under. I just think it's gonna be a spread out game with the Bengals. I think he'll probably have about 75. I think you'll see about 60, 70 for Higgins, about 50 from Boyd, and then you'll see about 70 from Mixon.
See, I know that one of their wide receivers is definitely going to get over this 92 yards. It just all depends on who it's going to be. Is it going to be Higgins, or is it going to be Jamar Chase, or is it going to be something crazy and be Tyler Boyd? I'm not too sure. I got to go with their number one guy getting over 92. I think it's going to be really close. I'm going to go Jamar Chase taking it over on this one time, the 92 receiving yards versus the Rams. All righty. Let's see here. We got just a couple of more. We're going to stick to the wide receiver room here. Odell Beckham Jr. over 80 receiving yards versus the Bengals. Chat, how y'all feeling about Odell Beckham Jr. going over 80 receiving yards versus the Bengals? We'll get a beard about a good 15 seconds before this beat runs out, and we'll get his final answer one time. I think I know where I'm going with this one already. Waterfly said, please let T get a touchdown. Benjamin Eugen is taking the over one time for Odell Beckham getting over the 80 yards receiving. Waterfly is taking the over as well. Kai's taking that under, along with Marjorie in the building taking that under as well. Beard, how you feeling about this one?
I want to take the under as well.
Ooh, I don't like you. I never liked you. I never liked you. Stan said, oh, for OBJ, get that ring. I am going with the over. Odell Beckham will get over 80 receiving yards in this game. I think McVay's going to make it a point to get him the ball early and often. And I'm just seeing like a re-energized Odell Beckham in these playoffs, noticing what's on the line here, not just playing off of, pure talent and skill set. He's focused, man. I saw a workout video of him working out for the Super Bowl, man, doing it's a drill that's actually in NBA 2K when you work out, but it's like 4 circular like red lights spread out across like about 10 yards, and each light comes on and you got to quickly hit the light. It's a reflex reaction kind of a drill. And it's just good to see Odell Beckham, man, just focused. He looks like he's very focused. Ever since I saw that documentary of his, I thought he was pretty focused on salvaging this season, because it started off really bad. So I'm going Odell Beckham Jr. over the 80 receiving yards. And I'll let the cat out the bag here. I didn't do any touchdown ones for Odell Beckham, but I think he's going to get a touchdown in this game as well. We're sticking with the wide receiver theme here. And we're going to go with Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp over. Tried to up the ante on him one time, the Beard. 105 receiving yards versus the Bengals one time in the Super Bowl. Chat, how y'all feeling about this one? Y'all taking the over on Cooper Kupp, 105 receiving yards, or y'all taking the under on this one? No Mets, no Nets, no Jets said 80 yards with Eli Apple. Don't forget, Eli Apple did hold Tyreek Hill to about 80 yards in that last game. I think it was 77, all in the first half.
Yeah, 70. I think it was 74 and a touchdown.
No catches in the second half for Tyreek Hill. Let's see. We got Waterfly with the under. Kai with the under. Marjorie says absolutely over for Cooper Kupp, along with Lax, who takes the over. Stan taking that push. I think he just like this P emoji. You know about that whole emoji going around on Twitter right now. Forget the artist. I think it's Gunna who got the song out. Sank Zappa's taking that under one time. BKL says, that's tough. That's definitely tough. CJ Talks Movies is taking the over for Cooper Kupp, over 105 receiving yards. The Beard, you've had your 15 seconds. What you thinking about this one?
I'm gonna take the over. 140 the last two. I think he gets. I don't think he has 140, but I think he gets around that 110, 115 mark.
I like that. I'm going over as well for Cooper Kupp, man. He's definitely been very consistent, not only throughout the regular season, but throughout the playoffs, definitely balling out. I think he's going to get over that 105, or it'll be really, really close. Let's see. Waterfly said, I don't like disagreeing with Marjorie. She knows her stuff. You damn right about that. And Jake SW Hunter, salute to Jake, says, what's good, fellas? It's been a while. Definitely, man. We took the week off while both Super Bowl teams took the week off to kind of just get our stuff together and get our wits together for this preview show for the Super Bowl. We appreciate you pulling up, fam. Good to see you in the building. Let me see. Stan says Gunna, and no, OG, I think he'll get 105 on the dot. Them pushes are definitely coming from Stan one time. All right, so we got a couple more. Let me see here. Still keeping the wide receiver theme here. T. Higgins over 75 yards receiving versus the Rams. Chat, how y'all feeling about that? Y'all got T. Higgins getting over 75. I think he had like I think he has back-to-back games with over 90 yards in the playoffs here. In the first game against the Raiders, he lacked the targets in that game. I think he only had 5 targets in that game. Didn't get over that 90-yard mark. But how y'all feeling about this one? Bluegrass in the building one time. He said he didn't get the notification. YouTube sloppy, not doing a job for their 25% of Awthentik and The Beard's royalties. Definitely got to send them an email. We'll get our what department we're going to get on that. Administrative department on that one. Guys taking the under one time. Waterfly's taking the under, he says, but we'll have a touchdown. T. Higgins he's talking about there. CJ Talks Movies is taking that over. And Benjamin says, as a Rams fan, anything Bengals, give me the under on that. Like that one time. Stan said, now you doing this on purpose, OG, because I'm taking the push again with T. Higgins on the 75 yards one time from Stan. I tell you what, Beard, I'm going to go first on this one so I, don't cheat and keep taking your answer. And, I got to give you a little alley-oop here to try to get back in the game. I'm going to say that T. Higgins goes over the 75 receiving yards versus the Rams. How you feeling about that?
I'm taking the over also.
That's what's up. That's what's up. The Beard's taking the over on T. Higgins, 75 yards receiving versus the Rams in the Super Bowl. We got just a couple of more here. I got 3 more of these. Yeah, 3 more of these, and then a little surprise here. 1, 2, 3. There's 4 of those. There's 4 of those. 3 of those. Okay. All right, next one. Joe Burrow will have more passing touchdowns than Matthew Stafford on Sunday in the Super Bowl. Chat, how y'all feeling about this one time? Y'all think Joe Burrow has a chance to get more touchdowns? We're going to take the push. Maybe they get the same amount of touchdowns. Last question that we had like this last week was interceptions with Patrick Mahomes. And I think Patrick Mahomes ended up throwing more interceptions than Joe Burrow did.
Yep. Yes, he did.
So how y'all feeling about Joe Burrow having more passing touchdowns than Matthew Stafford? Benjamin's taking that under right off the bat. Waterfly's a smart move, taking the push one time. And Benjamin just said, hell no, not up in here. CJ doubled down and said, absolutely not. What else we got up in here? He's taking the under, obviously, on that one. Marjorie says, push, a field goal wins it. I like that. I definitely like that. We got a push from Kai. Shout out to the homie Anthony Bluegrass in the building one time with the $10 super chat.
$10 super chat says, for the graphics department. We'll make sure to get that to the graphics department. We appreciate the love, as always. Anthony the Bluegrass Picker.
BKL said, shut up and take my money. Shout out to Tudo one time in the building.
So it is 2:15 a.m. here in Italy, and our entire team is watching the best NFL opinion duo, and we have a heavy training day today starting at 4 a.m. I need to get up at 4 a.m.
I used to get a lot more done getting up that early. See, I flip it. I just stay up crazy late till like 4 a.m. Tudo's like, getting ready for his workout. I'm cutting my evening short at 4 a.m. about to catch some Z's and whatnot. But I need to do that same thing, man. I want to get up earlier because I have no problem staying up late at night. It's not a problem. I think I just need to start. I'm one of them people that, like, I wake up when I wake up, like, just open the eyes. I'm here. Get the day started. No alarm, none of that. So I need to fix that, man. Maybe add some things to the morning. But shout out to Tudo, man. Best of luck with the workout. 4 a.m., man. Get it in. I mean, your abs look like you don't even really need a workout, but that's how working out goes. You got to stay up with the regimen, consistency, commitment, dedication, all of that good stuff, Tudo. We appreciate you pulling up. And the homie Stan says, stop it, bro. Why are these P's? Yeah, I'm giving you all these pushes one time. Saints taking it over. Mike popped up one time. Shout out Mike one time in the building. Says he's got the Rams 34-17. I like that score. I've been picking that 34-17 score a lot this year, and it never hit, so I kind of switched it up. Went with the 29-19 kind of vibes one time. And let's see here. Bluegrass. I see you, brother. Tudo in the building one time. Beard, I'm going to take this one first, too, just so I don't cheat. This one, we'll make the next one a 2-question or 2-point question. I think I'm going to take the push on this one. I'm going with Stan. I'm taking the push on this one. I think they'll both throw the same amount of touchdowns, whether it be 2, possibly 3.
Push a P. I'm going with push, too.
I like the push. That's smart, man. All right, so I got 2 more over-unders, and then a little surprise before we get up out of here one time. We'll go here with this one. Which player will score the first touchdown in the Super Bowl? Chat, how y'all feeling about this one? Who you got scoring the first touchdown? I know the Beard right now, he's thinking about it. He's like, how do I envision it in my mind? They're not going to run the damn ball. Is it going to be a big play that kind of gets down to the 1-2 yard line, gets punched in by Joe Mixon? Maybe Cam Akers? Maybe Sony Michel? Who knows? Quarterback sneak, Matthew Stafford? Maybe? I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and take this one first. I see Forever NYG in the building. It's got Odell Beckham getting that first touchdown. I don't think Odell Beckham's going to get the first touchdown. I think he'll maybe get the second touchdown. First touchdown of the day, I'm going to go with Cam Akers. That's where I'm going with it. I think they're going to get down to that goal line, and Cam Akers is going to punch it in. Kai says Joe Mixon. Jake said OBJ all day. Stan said OBJ. OBJ motivated. I like it, man. Waterfly says Mixon. Marjorie says Jamar Chase. Benjamin says Cooper Kupp. I like all these picks, man. No one has said Higbee. No one has said Michelle. No one said Matthew Stafford. I think that quarterback sneak could be a little something. Maybe Joe Burrow as well.
That's how I remember I won that bet on the Patrick Mahomes first to score the touchdown in the Super Bowl, man. That was one of my best bets.
T. Higgins, possibly. You know, maybe Uzoma. Maybe this kid Sample, you know, maybe a lineman, left tackle eligible.
Probably pays out a
I know.
What about a defensive touchdown?
Defensive
special teams touchdown.
Special teams, block punt, field goal, I don't know.
Opening kickoff Devin Hester style.
Oh, now that would be crazy. Ooh, Sank said OBJ, they're going to want to get him involved early. I do agree with that.
I'm going to go Mixon.
Beard's going Mixon. I'm going Cam Akers. The chat seemed to want to go Odell Beckham, and we'll come back to that. That's one I'm going to keep up here for sure in the mental notes one time. And last but not least on the over-under section, this one's not really an over-under. This is more like a question, kind of like this one was. Who will ultimately be named the MVP of Super Bowl 56? Chat, how y'all feeling about this one? Who you got as the MVP of Super Bowl 56? Kai said P. Ryan on a screen for the first touchdown. I like that. Give the Beard a little bit of time to think here. A good 15 seconds. Let the chat
there's always a quarterback, right?
Kai actually brought this up earlier in the show. Edelman was the last person. It was just 2 years ago. So 3 Super Bowls ago, though. And let me see. I got the list of the Super Bowl MVPs right here. Before Julian Edelman, it was Nick Foles, Tom Brady. The last defensive player to win it was Von Miller. Then you had Tom Brady, Malcolm Smith, Joe Flacco, Eli Manning, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, Antonio Holmes, Eli Manning, Peyton Manning, Hines Ward. Shout out Hines Ward, very underrated, unsung. Deion Branch, Tom Brady, Dexter Jackson, Tom Brady, Ray Lewis. Beard, who will ultimately be named?
What was the last running back to win MVP?
The last running back was
Timmy Smith?
Terrell Davis.
Sheesh.
Terrell Davis.
I'm going to go Joe Burrow. My dark horse is going to be Joe Mixon.
Joe Burrow, Joe Mixon, dark horse.
Joe. A guy named Joe is going to win MVP.
I saw something about a guy named Joe in Super Bowl appearances because Joe Burrow. Joe Namath, Joe Montana. Who you think's got more, Tom or Joe? Super Bowl appearances.
Tom Brady.
Yeah, good call. It's not by
the answer is always Tom Brady.
Tom Brady or Tom Brady. We're definitely going Tom Brady. So you going with Joe Burrow in this one? I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go Cooper Kupp.
I like your style, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Cooper Kupp. I like Cooper Kupp on that one. Okay. Yeah, I like Cooper Kupp. What the chat talking though? Let me see what the chat was talking. Waterfly says Joe Burrow.
Staffords and Burrows. Yeah.
Staffords and Burrows. Don't count out Aaron Donald, says Marjorie. I like that one. Yeah. Big Pat in the building. What's popping, Pat? Good to see you in the building, man. I got to go back and catch up on Pat's video. They was doing something today. I want to go back and check that one out. Make sure y'all subscribe to Big Pat Sports Talk, man. Great channel over there. Super dedicated, man. Putting in his grind. I can't wait to see what you do in the off season too, bro. I know it's going to be a lot of content moving your way in the off season. So make sure y'all go and support Big Pat one time. He's building that channel up, man. Super fast too. Let's see. We got any other ones?
Man, I do have an
Hell y'all,
Aaron
not a
Donald.
fan of the beard no more.
I do have an Aaron Donald autographed mini helmet right here.
I like it. I like
it. If he wins MVP,
I'm not. You know, I'm not a fan of the mini footballs and the mini helmets. Like I got the mini football from Carl Banks. I'm just like, what am I gonna do with a mini football, man? Thank you.
Mini footballs. I don't know
mini
about
football.
mini
It's like,
footballs.
come on, man. Do you know what I'm saying? That helmet you gave me, bro, is just. I've been waiting. You see all the pictures I've been putting out. I've been showing pictures of the helmet Lucas gave me with the Lawrence Taylor signing, but I'm waiting. I'm cooking up a little bit of a B-roll video to show some of the things I've gotten from people over the years of Giants memorabilia. So that Daniel Jones signed helmet definitely in the video, the Lawrence Taylor video or the Lawrence Taylor helmet, the Carl Banks mini football, and shout out to NTW who got me the signed Odell Beckham jersey on the back wall there too.
I'm not ignoring you, Waterfly. Just been really busy. I'm sorry, buddy. You know I love you.
Is he talking about being ignored today or just in general? You've been ignoring him on your streams too? Come on, bro.
He sent me a message on Instagram, and I haven't had a chance to reply back. I am still doing my sales on Mondays. It's just the last 2 Mondays I have had previous things that I have been planned, birthday, and I forget what happened the week before that.
Said, I'm not ignoring you, Waterfly.
I love you, man. I swear. Thank you for
shout out Waterfly, man.
I appreciate
you.
Speaking
of checking in, man, I need to hear from Sunday, and I need to hear from Double Easy. It's still been very, very, very long since we've heard from either one of them, man. So, I know we got that super chat, but a serious moment here. I got to get some kind of word from Sunday and from Double Easy. I hit up Double Easy. I see you seeing the messages on Twitter. But if y'all know how to maybe get in contact with Sunday on Twitter, maybe somebody reach out, man. Let me know what's going on. I definitely, and not super concerned. I know people's lives get in the way of things, and, YouTube isn't obviously a number one priority, but definitely been a while since we've seen Sunday in the building. And I'm hoping that it's because the New York Giants have been so awful. But shout out Waterfly one time.
Oh, man. Na 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 na. Hi Nikki. Na 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 na. Appreciate you, Waterfly.
Shout out Waterfly one time in the building. And the beard, spot on with them 9s, man. I give you a 10, man, a 10, okay, brother. Kai said over under on the stadium lights going out. I'm gonna take the under on that one.
They put too much money into that building for that.
Yeah, that's a nice stadium they got over there, SoFi Stadium for sure. All right,
man,
Beard,
we
so I
should be
got
on
one more.
Media Row, man. What happened? Super Bowl? Where are our credentials
We didn't submit for the credentials, bro. We got to do that, man. I wrote something on my backboard here today that says manifest it. Okay. You got to do it, man.
I like it. Yeah.
You got to manifest it. And we didn't manifest it this year. But I think next year we kind of got the ball rolling with Awthentik and The Beard here. It's a well-oiled machine with the graphics department, the editing department, the administrative department. So next season, yeah, especially because the New York Giants are going to be in the Super Bowl. I got to be there. You know what I'm saying? So we'll get our credentials then. All right. So I got a little surprise for you in the chat here one time. I don't know if you saw this. Right. Shout out to the graphics department. Held me down one time. But, when you guys hear this music, you know what's about to happen here. Jazz flutes me. It's trivia time, ladies and gentlemen.
Trivia time.
All right. So I got 3 questions for the fam in the chat and Mr. Beard over there. Strong side to my left side one time. Let these jazz flutes get the cranking one time. My hips just want to move when I hear the jazz flutes. I don't know what it is, man. But don't expect me to be dancing at your wedding. I hope y'all don't have any, routines. Josie, this is a message for you. I hope y'all don't got no crazy routines where I got to go out and bust a dance move or anything crazy like that.
Dude, Josie is literally a dancer. So I
know.
Yeah, so listen, I'm going to be doing all types of...
Yeah,
it's
all
gonna be listen,
rituals
I got
and dances, right?
I got African dances I gotta learn. I got
Okay, let me ask you this though.
Spanish dances.
Are you forced to wear a pair of Air Jerusalems at any point during this wedding or any of the festivities?
No Air Jerusalems, I believe, but there is. I had mentioned to you. Here she is. There will be a pre-wedding ceremony that is a traditional African ceremony, which you will be there for. And
which
I will be
there for. Dancing or just there?
just there.
When y'all see me like this with my hands in my pockets, like, nah, cuz.
No, you will be there. I will be wearing a traditional African ceremonial outfit. So I'm excited for that. And I'm excited. Listen, you want to know what I'm excited for? I am excited. I am excited to show Josie's family that your boy can dance.
Yeah,
because
yeah, I guess you could kind of dance.
I mean, because look, man, once the music is going, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm killing. Look, I just Awthentik can't even handle it because he know, man. I got the dance move. I can
dance like it's not the kind of I could dance that people are used to, right? It's like a confident. I'm confident, right? You're very confident with the dance moves. I'll give you that, right? Knee
that's
slides,
a good way of putting it.
air guitars, stuff like that. But don't expect them to, bust out a kid and play move or anything crazy. You know what I'm saying? A running man or
look,
nothing,
it's gonna go down. It's gonna go down.
I can't wait to
way.
see it. Can I bring my camera to the festivities?
Yes,
pre-wedding festivities.
That would be deeply appreciated.
Got you. I got some new stuff over here. And Josie, I see the comments. It says just there. I like that. The way my legs is set up, the dancing ain't. You already know. I don't do that. I don't do that stuff. Once Tim gets too into it, he forgets the beat. This is facts. Yeah, because he's not the most. He don't got that much rhythm, as he would say.
I got the rhythm.
But he's confident. I give him that. Dancing, I'd say 50% of it is being confident. You ain't going to see me out there doing nothing crazy. So best of luck to you with the traditions and the dances one time. I see Stan out here, dog. He know about the Haitian roots and the Haitian background, what I'm going to have to do with this wedding, bro. But, yeah, I'm very interested, and I'm hyped to see what we do with these suits, man. You told me the color palette. I want to go get fitted here, man. But I definitely got to find a way to buff up a little bit before we get into the suits. I know you're trying to trim down. I'm trying to bulk up before we get to them suits, man. I'm trying to pull up to that wedding, and they be like, is that Awthentik out there flexing? Yeah, we gonna see him. Bluegrass said, please video this Awthentik. You already know I got you. And I told the Beard I'm going to try to get everybody at the wedding to say strong side when I say left side. We're gonna see how that works out when everybody in Josie's family looking at me like, bro, what are you doing? But I got 3 trivia questions before y'all get up out of here one time. These should be very fun. And we'll start with this first one, the Beard. You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
I'm not ready.
You're not ready.
I have no idea what these are.
And the Cincinnati Bengals. The Cincinnati Bengals could be another team that would lose their first 3 trips to the Super Bowl. Name the 3 teams that lost their first 3 Super Bowl appearances. Chat, y'all can help us out. I think there's one that's very, very, very obvious here, especially being that this is an NFC East show, the best division in football, the best television show not on TV. There's one that's very obvious. But there are another 2 teams out there that lost their first 3 Super Bowl appearances as well. And the Cincinnati Bengals could do that if they lose on Sunday to the Los Angeles Rams. Yeah, let's see what the chat is talking about here. Shout out to Cody Gents one time in the building.
Hey, Cody. Good to see you, buddy. Says, been a minute, brothers, but I'm doing great. That is what I like to hear.
Good to hear.
Glad
Good
to hear,
man.
He says, OBJ for MVP.
Ooh, I would lose my mind, boy. You already know, man. That would be fantastic. Shout out to Cody, man, pulling up in the building. And good to hear things are going great, my G. I know you out there in your bag. You out here on your Tinder vibes out here getting to it. I like to hear it, man. That's what's up. Good to see you in the building, Cody.
So
I definitely got some. I see. Are you looking at the chat at all?
No, those were the only 2. I don't know who the third one is. I know the first 2. So Jim Kelly, Buffalo Bills. Okay. Fran Tarkington, Minnesota Vikings.
Okay.
The third one is where I'm a little lost. So I think I'm going to go to Do I want to go to? Is it all right? Do we get a clue?
No. No one in the chat got this. I'm
Okay,
starting to question my trivia reference here.
Okay, I got it then. It's the Kansas City Chiefs.
Ooh, right on the beat drop.
Oh, the way you said that made it sound like I got it right.
Thought you had it, right? It's the Vikings. It is the Buffalo Bills. But according to my sources, Denver Broncos is the third team.
Dang.
But you did get 2 out of 3. I will give you that. Lack said Bills, Vikings, Cowboys, KC, Skins. Somebody said Skins. The Bengals could be that team if they lose on Sunday, Stan. And Kai said Bills, Eagles, and Vikings. To my sources, Broncos, Vikings, Bills. All right,
too,
so
Kai.
So we're
okay. Real quick, true story. I have actually hit a buzzer beater before in a real game. It wasn't an end of the game buzzer beater, but it was a halftime buzzer beater. I hit a half court halftime buzzer beater at Wheaton High School, playing for the Albert Einstein Titans.
I think I was there for that joint. I think I was there for it. It was a far shot, right?
It was. It was like basically a half court, and I hit it, and I literally ran. As I hit it, I was like running underneath. It felt like I was running, but obviously I wasn't. Underneath the basketball, saw it go in, and just boom, opened up the gym doors and ran right out the gym when I hit that joint. I'll never forget that one. Andy Cosmator tells that story better than anybody else. Shout out Andy.
Yeah, that's a great way to make an exit, to the locker room at halftime for sure, definitely. Yeah, and I just confirmed it. It's definitely the Broncos. They lost the Super Bowl to the Giants first, then they lost to the Washington Redskins, and then they lost to the San Francisco 49ers. All right, so got a couple of more of these, got 2 more of these. Let me bring these flutes back one time. Get y'all right on the flutes.
Bring the flutes back.
Okay, I love this question. Okay, you want to go quarterbacks first or wide receiver trivia first? We got 2 more to go. Which one do you want to go first?
Quarterbacks.
I like that. I wanted to go quarterbacks too. I talked about, this is Justin Bieber versus Nelly. Pun to the I Am Number One. Justin Bieber had a song called Number One, and Nelly had Number One as well. Name the 2 quarterbacks to start in the first Super Bowl featuring 2 quarterbacks drafted number 1 overall, as Matthew Stafford and Burrow are going to be the second pair of starting quarterbacks to start in the Super Bowl. I will give you a little bit of a hint, chat here, and StreamYard seems to be doing some crazy stuff on the right side of my screen. It did happen after the year 2000. I will give you that. Narrow down your choice a little bit, just so you know it ain't some crazy OG back in the day playing with a 1-bar face mask or something crazy.
Peyton Manning wasn't number 1 though, wasn't he? Didn't Ryan Leaf go number 1?
I mean, why are you going right to Peyton? Are you looking at the chat? Because the last chat says Peyton Cam. You looking at the chat, aren't you?
Yeah.
And look at Stan. Stan's like, I win, Awthentik.
Peyton Manning wasn't drafted number 1.
Yeah. All right, so we gonna automatically give you one of these real quick. Hold up. Okay, and then we get back to the chat. Stan said he's cheating.
Nah, I know that they're wrong though. Right?
Right? I like how you questioned it at the end. Looks like the chat's got you beat here, the Beard. The other was Super Bowl 50, which featured Cam Newton, Panthers' #1 selection in 2011, and Peyton Manning.
What? I thought Ryan Leaf went number 1 over Peyton Manning in that draft. Wasn't that the whole big dilemma?
Let's cross-reference and double-check this here, because I believe Ryan Leaf was number 2.
I mean, maybe I'm tripping, which is definitely possible because I'm always
first pick
tripping.
Overall, 1998 from the Indianapolis Colts.
All right, shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat.
At least I know that you are not a man of integrity here, and you be looking at that chat.
No, I was only looking at the chat because I mean, you know what I'm saying?
'Cause
Like,
what? I want to hear this excuse. I was only looking at the chat because
I
we're
have an
playing Mad
answer.
Lib. Blank
I
it.
have an answer.
I like it. I like it. I don't mind a little bit of a swindle there, a little peek, a little, what they doing over there? All right. So we got one more trivia
I'll
question.
put it. Listen, hold on.
You about to hide it?
Oh, I can't put it on private. Why not? Okay. All right, it's fine. I won't look. Oh yeah, I can. Here we go.
You got to
Private
go
chat.
up to
All
the
right.
top or something?
Nah, I put it on the side. All right, it's on private
Oh,
chat.
they made it a
It's
new
blank.
tab now.
Yeah.
I don't remember that being
Yeah.
like that.
No, it used to be the tabs up at the top.
Yeah, I like that. That's fair. Man of integrity. And
All right.
I like it. Okay. All right, we got one more trivia question here one more time before we get up out of here. This is a good one. I like this one a lot. Chat, I know y'all be looking at y'all Googles. Look, my man Tim from Online Big Blue was giving away a Daniel Jones jersey, right? And I was in the parking lot picking up my girl. And I was just trying to Google so fast, bro. Like, I forget the question. He asked a question about his podcast that had something to do with a, like, arena football league team that was in Florida. And I'm just like, I can't even front, bro. I was trying to win that jersey. Anything at all costs, to win the game. We got to win this game. But the last one is, who was the last wide receiver? Cooper Kupp just won this Triple Crown Award this year. Who was the last wide receiver to win the Triple Crown Award before Cooper Kupp?
Clue?
That's the clue.
I should be able to ask questions.
Clue.
Did they play for the Minnesota Vikings?
Okay, there's your clue. No.
Did they play for the San Francisco
I said
49ers?
that's your clue, man. I'll give you a no on the San Francisco 49ers. There you go. That's all you get.
Oh,
The chat
man.
is saying Megatron.
Don't read the chat to me. I got 10 red comment notifications up here.
Okay. I got 2 Megatron votes in the chat. I'll tell y'all.
I don't think it was Calvin Johnson because I know he led but I don't think he had the Triple Crown though.
Triple Crown, though.
And it's not. You said it's not a 49er, so it's not Jerry Rice. It's
Not a 49er.
Randy Moss. It's not Chris Carter.
I'll give you one more hint. It happened after 2000. like it made it worse. It's like, damn, I was definitely going to say somebody in the 90s. We'll get a beard a good. When the music drop out, we're going to need his answer.
I am stumped, bro. I'm stumped. I'm gonna go. Do one more clue. Yo.
You want one more clue?
One more clue. Yo.
I don't want to give it away.
I know you don't. I know you don't.
Okay, this team acquired a quarterback in the offseason entering this year.
So okay, so that kind of put me in. I thought maybe I was.
Hey,
I
here
was
come
going.
that drop.
I was going with Torrey Holt, Isaac Bruce, maybe. All right, Marvin Harrison.
At the buzzer. Big shout out to Stan one time and to Big Pat in the building. Big Pat, I think, was the first one I saw to get it right. And it is your boy, Steve Smith. Senior. Did it in 2005. Steve Smith led the NFL with 103
Was that with Jake
receptions.
Delhomme or Cam Newton?
It's with Jake Delhomme, I believe. 2005? Yeah, that can't be Cam. It was in 2005 with Steve Smith. He led the NFL with 103 receptions. He had 1,563 receiving yards and 12 touchdowns. I think this is more of a reason, like, Steve Smith kind of underrated, bro. You got to go back and look at them stats. This guy was definitely a beast. Cooper Kupp is only the 4th player since 1970 to achieve the rare feat, joining Jerry Rice, who did it in 1990 with the 49ers, and Steve Smith obviously did it in 2005 with the Carolina Panthers. The third one, chat, I won't let the cat out the bag yet. Who's the 3rd player to do it? Well, 4th now. You had Kupp, Steve Smith, Jerry Rice. This fourth one is such a unsung, forgotten name. I want to see if the chat might be able to get this one.
That's what I thought it was. I thought it was.
God damn. Yo, the Beard just tore the whole club up one time. Yo, so chat, man, hey Stan, I know you on Google, bro. I know, ain't no way that Marjorie or Stan was gonna get this one. Tell me y'all on Google. Please tell me that y'all are on Google. I gotta know. It was definitely Sterling Sharp one time. That's a good answer. Sank over here rolling.
Okay, we're gonna have to add that to the highlight reel.
The blooper reel. It's crazy because like after it knocked out, I heard you like, ha! And the camera just goes out. So before you left, we were talking about who was the fourth player to do it. We had Cooper Kupp, Steve Smith, and Jerry Rice. The fourth is Sterling Sharp, man. That to me, that was
Green Bay Packers.
Pretty crazy, man. Sterling Sharp was definitely a beast in his day with the Green Bay Packers, for sure, man. One of Brett Favre's bigger targets, man. Slept on. There was something that happened with his neck or his back that ended his career pretty short because he was a staple at the wide receiver position in the 90s, man. And I think something happened to his neck or something. He had to stop playing. But that's going to do it for trivia time, folks. Had a great time, man, chopping it up with you guys with these over-unders, man, and doing a little bit of trivia. I told the Beard we are going to try to keep the show around an hour and 15 minutes. We got around an hour and 45. That's not too bad. And, yeah, it definitely was a neck injury. I got some confirmation from Stan and Lax in the building. I still want to know if y'all Google. I want to know if y'all Googled that, Stan. Did you Google that? I want to know. Oh, today on Undisputed. I didn't get a chance to watch them. That's a good one. All right, Beard, any last thoughts before we, sign off?
No.
Come back, do our recap on the Super Bowl. You feeling good about them Bengals? I wanted to ask you this. I did want to ask you this. 1 to 10, how confident are you in the Bengals? 10 being the most confident. And I'm going to tell you how confident I am in the Rams.
7.
That's pretty confident for them Bengals. I was going to say at 7 as well. I got to go a little higher than you, so I'm going to go 7.5 on the Rams. I'm pretty confident. I'm pretty confident they're going to win this game. And Marjorie says, no, she didn't cheat. She saw it on Google. Don't remember. Well, when did you see it on Google, Marjorie? I don't know if you cheated or not.
See, what
don't remember him, though, okay? What had happened was, I was looking up at the feed, and but shout out to everybody in the building, man. We definitely appreciate y'all pulling up, man. We took the week off. Definitely expect some off-season content from us. Still working on the game show vibes. I wanted to change the game that we're actually going to theme it by. We're trying to do some Family Feud vibes. Got to get everything ironed out on the technical aspects of that. I think worst come to worst, we're going to go back and do a Jeopardy vibe. I went back and revisited that show just the other day just to kind of look at how we produced it and whatnot. We were super loose on that show, bro. Like, it was a hell of a time, man, but we got super loose on that show, man. And I'm looking forward to bringing y'all a different format this time around. And we're going to have a homie from the chat on the team, man. Lax044 hit me up one time. So looking forward to having him on the squad. I got Entertainer confirmed. I got The Hub confirmed and a couple others. The Beard got rapper Big Pooh confirmed on it and a few other folks. I think you said
Big Douglas?
Big Douglas?
Yeah, and a couple of the guys from Ref the District.
I was watching their show last night, man. Super active in the chat with them, man. They got a great. I love what they doing over there, man. They're probably the podcast that reminds me most of what we do. Like the camaraderie, you could tell that they're like real friends, like just real homies, know a lot about each other. And yesterday they were missing one of the co-hosts. But it was just a good vibe, man. They were talking Super Bowl and stuff like that, man. And just like their perspective is so like DC driven like us, man. I definitely like their show. And for those of y'all that aren't familiar with them, go sub up to them, man. It's called Ref the District. They got a great podcast going on about the Washington football team. They were talking about quarterback situation with y'all and talking about the Super Bowl and stuff, man. It was a good time over there chopping it up with them yesterday. But yeah, man, y'all know what it is, man. Everybody in the chat, man, y'all are fam. Good to have y'all throughout this season. We're going to have one more show to really put the cap on season 3 of Awthentik and The Beard. But like I said, man, we're going to be doing off-season content.
Are we going to call that season 3.5, or are we just going to jump right into season 4?
I think that everything that's draft now should be season 4, because it's looking forward to the next season of football. Gotcha. So I think we should look at that as season 4 preparation for both of our teams. going into the 2022 season. I look at season 4 as the 2022 season, and we'll put a nice little lid on top of the 2021 season. It didn't go my way. I'm sure it didn't go your way. At least y'all were kind of in the mix there at the end, man. It was like week 10, the Giants is just like, it's over. With y'all kind of at least got to the finish line and then fell flat.
Everything that was our new toys for both of us, pretty much all of our new toys.
It's terrible.
Ryan Fitzpatrick played 4 snaps.
Yeah, that was bad.
And then Curtis Samuel. I mean,
tough,
Kadarius
Toney.
Tough.
Who was y'all first round draft pick this year?
Jamin Smith.
The linebacker.
Jamin Davis. I said
Davis. You did say
Jamin
Smith.
Davis.
Yeah. Mixing him up with our guy, with Jalen Smith. I hope the Giants actually bring Smith back. I think he could be a good piece moving forward.
Notre Dame guy.
Yeah, but man, I'm looking forward to 2022, man. I think it's clean slate, man, for the New York Giants. Washington, I think, is very apparent what y'all need to do now. You got some question marks in a few positions there. Quarterback, I think, could be an issue. Defense, y'all front is pretty solidified. I think y'all can make some upgrades in the secondary. That there is that safety out there, but I don't think he's gonna fall down to 11.
Oh, my man from Notre Dame.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think he'll fall to y'all.
He is the truth, and that dude can play. You might not even see him play safety in the next level. Just remember, I said
the Giants
that,
have been. We're desperate for offensive line, but a lot of mock drafts got him going to the Giants, and people are pissed off about that. They're like, man, why are we going to reach for safety when we got X? But I think it'd be really good to have a duo at safety with youth like that. It'd be awesome. But we got 2 picks in the top 10, so we got a lot of things we can do here. We could trade out. We could do a lot, and we're going to be talking a lot more about the draft situation and the new hirings happening in New York. And what's to come for the Washington Commanders. I'm gonna get used to calling them that, and we just kind of wanted to avoid that because I feel like a lot of content creators right now are doing the deep dive with the New York Giants into next season already. But there's a lot of football left to play when the playoffs started, and we still got a Super Bowl on Sunday. I think we're gonna wait for that. Probably take a good week off, regroup, have a meeting, and just talk about how we're going to move forward in this offseason, because our whole thing is value. Like, I don't want to try to bring y'all content or any kind of concepts or ideas that a lot of other people are doing a fantastic job of. Like, salute to Big Pat, salute to the Hub, both those guys, and KB. They doing a fantastic job already handling a lot of the offseason content, draft prospects. I see Nate Talk Sports joining a lot of these roundtables and stuff, giving his opinion. He's one of the people that I look to as far as college and prospects and people coming out and draft and all that. He's really got a good grip on that. Entertainer's been doing a good job of it already so far. The OGs like myself and Bad Dog, seems like we're kind of trying to stay away from the draft a little bit until the season's over. Once we get a little bit closer to the draft, we'll get to be talking more about that. But me and the Beard got a lot of concepts that you haven't seen yet from content creators that we're going to be dropping on y'all. And I think that's where we're going to start before we get to April, I believe is when the draft is, right? In April?
Yep.
Before we get to that. So make sure y'all, keep your ears peeled. I know a lot of people might have thought that we were kind of done for the season when we didn't do our shows last week, but definitely stay tuned. We got a lot of content. Revamp for season 4. You're going to see new graphics, new look, new theme, new everything, new beats, new music. That playlist is still going to come out too for content creators of beats of mine. I'm going to take pretty much all the beats I played throughout this season of season 3 of Awthentik and The Beard. I'm going to release those for free. So definitely keep your eye out and your eyes peeled for that and your ears peeled as well. Cats like Big Pat been talking to me about beats. Miz been talking to me about beats for his intro as well. So make sure y'all on the lookout for that, man. But y'all know what it is over here with Awthentik and The Beard. Let's get them biceps before we get up out of here one time. Left side.
Strong side.
Y'all know what it is, man. Everybody in the chat, keep raising that bar. Y'all know what it is. Like I just told The Beard on air. I wrote this on my board earlier. Manifest it. It makes me think of a situation back in the day in about 2017 when I first met Chaz French. I told myself I want to work with that guy. I like that guy's music. He was a staple coming out of the DMV at the time, and a lot of people couldn't really get their couldn't get his attention because of how much stuff he had going on with Motown and his record label. And I manifested it. I made sure I took a flight out to Cali to go meet this dude, to go work with him, and that relationship ended up becoming a album and also got us the theme song on Spider-Man Enter the Spideyverse, and so many other things, so many other features that happen off the strength of that. So see it. I've been looking at a couple of content creators that have nothing to do with sports, And a couple of them were just talking about, like, you got to put that in your mind every day. If you wake up and you feel like I can't do that, well, you're probably not going to do that. So wake up, put them goals on a board, and just manifest it. Get to it, man. Keep raising that bar. Y'all know what it is over here at Authentic and the Beard. If you need my support, definitely feel free to reach out to me in the DM. However I can help you, I'll help you. People have already reached out to us about podcasting, advice and just camera advice and the stuff that we're more pros to, which is production and the back end of this YouTube stuff. So definitely, man, feel free. Don't be scared to reach out to us, man. Y'all, everyone who's tuned in, as soon as I recognize y'all names, y'all know what it is. Y'all are fam. We got y'all support and y'all got our support. So y'all know what it is, man. Keep raising that bar. Keep living those dreams. In Technicolor, as my man Combat Jack would say, we will catch y'all on Tuesday for the Super Bowl recap, which will be the last show of Season 3 of Authentic and the Beard. Until then, enjoy y'all football. Sunday's going to be a great one. Go Rams. Go Odell Beckham. Y'all know what it is. Be good. Enjoy y'all Sundays, y'all. Peace.
Peace.